Hello, my friends! It's just me here today because I had another stupid idea. If you read the video title, you know what that idea is. When Pixar released A Bug's Life way back when, there were also tie-in games released for the consoles of the time. PS1, N64, PC, I'm pretty sure they had a Game Boy Color edition released too, but I'm not going near that one. I trust you're at least familiar with the actual movie, but if you're here and haven't played the game for some reason, I'll gloss over it super quick. You play as Flik, complete levels based off the movie's plot, defeat bosses. It's what you'd expect from a 3D platformer of its time. But the big gimmick I really liked here is that scattered throughout the levels are these seeds that you can pick up, carry where you like, then grow them into different plants that help you achieve stuff. Sometimes you get a bouncy mushroom, sometimes you get a surface-to-air missile launcher. Okay? Is that good? Hope you understood that, because now we're going to take that whole mechanic and toss it out the window for the challenge run. Yes, this is a challenge run. Can we beat this entire game without growing any seeds? Well, it would be really funny if we could. I did have a sniff around online and I couldn't see any challenge runs made for this game, but I'm aware a lot of people did enjoy it when they were kids and might like to see one. That's where I come in, whether you want me or not. So here are the ground rules for this challenge. There aren't many, I promise. It's basically what it says on the tin. I'm going to play through all 15 levels of the main game without growing any seeds. Each level has a main objective to complete, which is usually just to reach an endpoint or collect a set of objects, so that's what we're aiming for. There are optional medals to achieve for each level, things such as collecting bits of grain or pasting every enemy on the floor, but I'll be ignoring those for the most part, but if a special obvious case comes up where those can be achieved, I'll highlight it. If we come across a completely impossible point where I just have to grow a seed to continue, we'll note that down, keep a final score. I think that's going to be all there is to it, honestly. Alright, I'll quit yapping, because let's get going with this. A Bug's Life, Seedless Challenge. We begin at level 1, welcome to Ant Island. This is a super simple area. You take a normal level environment and sprinkle a few tutorial elements into it. The objective is just to reach the tunnel entrance at the base of the tree, and dots flying overhead to guide us right there. Most of the main section of this level is flat ground with a few enemies in it, until we reach this ledge with a seed placed right next to it. The game clearly wants us to grow a bouncy mushroom to climb over the ledge, but we can do better than that. Standing on the higher ground over here, taking a run up and tucking in Flik's legs lets him clear the ledge without growing said mushroom. And that's actually the only real obstacle in this level for our run. We can just follow Dot up the hill here and into the end. Easy stuff for now, right? Level 2's tunnels have a lot of forking paths to take, but those mean nothing to us. The end of this area is once again basically just a straight line. We just have to follow the main road all the way to the end. A few times along the way, the road will have another high ledge in it where we're supposed to grow something like a leaf platform to climb up. But we actually skip all of these parts by using these luminous mushrooms growing near the walls. Or, in one particular case here, we can just straight up jump against the wall and that works for some reason. From this point on, the only hazards left in the level are falling rocks and falling grasshoppers. But the end is just a straight line. So here we are at the first boss fight of the game against Thumper, and, yeah, sorry to pop the bubble here so quickly boys, but I don't think this one can be done. You see, Thumper here is a very tough boy. In this game, very tough boys like Thumper need a blue berry to deal damage to, but poor Flik over here starts his levels with puny, dinky little red berries which won't do anything. You see that blue berry floating up there? Nah, that's way out of reach, we're not having that. Only thing we can do to nab that is jump on this seed below it and grow a fan to fly up. Oh dear, what a big shame, the challenge is over. I don't care. I don't care, sit back down. We've got like 12 more levels of this shit to get through, and I promise it gets more fun, I promise. So, now we've got our blueberry, and a very sad looking number 1 on the counter. We can end this boss fight by pelting Thumper in the face with blue goop until he explodes. I'm sure they could have gotten away with this in the movie on account that the berries are blue instead of red, right? Let's move on. To level 4! We're at the riverbed cliffside, and we've just got to cross this whole area devoid of most insect life. So, you may be asking, what's stopping me from just jumping down there and legging it across? Here, I'll show you.
Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! Oh no, no, no! Ah!
Yeah, so it's this great feathered fuck that's actually stopping me. As soon as we touch the ground down there, that's instant death, and so the only way across is to grow another seed. Sucks to be Flik right now, doesn't it? You could even say it's tough to be a bug. So here, we've grown the dandelion stalk seen in the movie. We can just ride this thing down to the other side of the river, and then there's nothing else to worry about. Yeah, okay, alright, look, I can hear you thinking, hey, green man whose name I know, you just floated across like 20 fans to get over there? Yes, I hear you, and to that I say shush, shut up. Keep it down, yeah? Just keep your voice down, alright? Let's look at the title again, please. Can we beat this game without growing seeds? Doesn't say using them, does it? Doesn't, yeah, we just have to grow them. Did I grow those fans down there? Nuh-uh. Those bad boys are already grown. It was like that when I got there, Mum. It was like that when I got there. So we're going to count these as a special edge case. They don't count, okay? They don't count. Glad that's been cleared up. And if you disagree with me, then, I don't know, cope and seethe. My challenge, not yours. After crossing the riverbed here, the finish line is just down the sledge, and we can continue into a really cool level. Watch this. Here in the riverbed canyon, the layout's designed like a bit of a maze, but ultimately we still just have to make it to a flag at the end of the area. We can largely ignore everything else. Doesn't get more simple than that, right? Until we start to come across these high ledges on the path. Spoiler warning for you, there are tall ledges like this all the way through along the correct path of the exit. Like, I think there's at least 4 of them. Now, this one can actually be cleared with a really tight jump from this raised patch of ground, as long as Flik tucks his legs in again. This jump's a lot harder than what we did in the tunnels, but unfortunately that's about as far as we can get with a trick of that sort. Look at the absolute size of this next ledge. How do you expect me to get over that? Like, clearly the idea by the game is to take a seed over here and grow taller and taller leaf platforms each time, but without any seeds? That's ridiculous stuff, that's ridiculous. What, do you expect me to turn into a mountain goat and just walk up the side of the wall? So anyway, I'm going to walk up the side of the wall like a mountain goat. This glitch I'm about to demonstrate is easily the most insane part of the Bugs Life game. The inputs are surprisingly simple, and as long as you're patient, you could probably go as high as you want with this. It's only good for this level though, sadly, because of the gaps in the walls that you don't see anywhere else. If you jump right into some of these gaps and continue running forward, Flik gets sort of stuck floating across the gap while the game thinks he's actually on the ground. From that point, it's just a rhythm game. You let go of jump for a moment, then you hold it down again, and then you let go of forwards for a moment before holding that down again. Did you see Flik inch up the wall there for a second? That's all there is to this pile of nonsense. Just some patience, and then the entire riverbed canyon becomes a big fat joke. So I told you it was going to get more fun after Thumper, didn't I? Come on, let's move on to the second boss fight. Oh hey look, Feathered Fuck has returned, and we get to beat her up this time. This level has a few things to explore around it, but once again, our only target is the bird, and also a blueberry to actually deal damage to her with. Around the edge of the level is a spiral set of platforms leading up, and this time the blueberry's actually within reach. Normally the game wants you to jump to the middle islands here, dodging the bird while attacking it, but somehow I was just able to, like, snipe her from this same outer ledge. Look at that. Like, bird's not even rendered in, and the health bar's still going down. Flik is a menace when he knows what he's doing. So that's another level down without growing a single seed. I hope nobody calls Peter on me for this. For level 7, we're now in the Big Bug City. This is another simple get-to-the-end level if you hadn't had enough of those already. We need to meet Heimlich, Slim, and Francis from the circus troupe, but this time the level has a new gimmick. Each zone is blocked off by a door which only opens if you collect enough grain scattered around, and in a challenge like this, that could get really difficult. Luckily for us, here in the big city, the enemies actually have stable income, and they can be mugged for their cash, so Flik just needs to run around chucking berries at the locals and collecting other stray pieces of grain around the level edges too. These taxi beetle enemies are once again too tough to hurt without a blueberry, and that's out of the question here without growing our own one. Let's go for a walk. By sheer luck, I managed to scrounge up exactly 10 pieces of grain that were needed to open this first door. We can repeat this process a couple more times in the second and third zones, which require 20 and then 30 bits of grain. Although, I've heard that if you're very skilled, you can actually just jump right over the top of a 30 door, and that's what they do for the speedruns, but I either couldn't be bothered or just forgot to try. Take your pick, I don't care. Let's continue.
Easy as pie.
Level 8 is even more city. This part is an open area because we finally have a different type of objective. We've got to run around and meet the rest of the circus troupe. Dim, Rosie, Manny and Gypsy, and Tuck and Roll, who are in their own places around the map. After we duck through this gap in the wall here, Dim and Rosie are both super easy to get to because they're both on the ground floor. Dim's here near the front of the level, and Rosie's over there near the back corner. My next target is Manny and Gypsy, who are up on these tall boxes. Flik will constantly whinge at me that he needs super jump if you don't already have it, but that requires growing seeds and, actually having fun in this game jumping around. So I've got to find another way. If we head the long way around to the back of this level, there are some slopes leading up to the pair, and we can check them off the list. Now that just leaves Tuck and Roll, who are all the way up on this other set of boxes. If they knew what was good for them, they would just hop down and meet me instead, because there isn't actually any easy or intended way to climb up and reach them without growing seeds. The game wants you to grow this fan and fly up there, but we aren't having that. We are not having that. We need to find another way up. Oh, hey, look, another way up. Don't try to ask me why this city has dedicated signposts that just have pictures of Tuck and Roll on them, please. I don't see a signpost here. I see a very thin and annoying platform, but when you jump from the right angle, Flik can actually get up onto it. After that, we can jump the rest of the way to the boxes and speak to the pillbugs, and the level automatically finishes. It's pretty good, right? Level 9 set at the bug bar, and it's a boss fight against Thud, this massive horsefly that was going to beat up Francis in the movie. There's objects flying everywhere, Thud's trying to attack me, the entire bar itself is rolling around out of control. Well, you'll be surprised to hear this level is a complete free win for us. There's not a single seed to be found in here. The whole thing is just you going one-on-one against Thud. Blueberry can be picked up if you roll this ball over to it and then bounce on top. As a matter of fact, because there's no seeds to be grown here, we can actually clean out the whole thing for all 3 optional medals. Thud drops 50 bits of grain each time you hit him, the letters of Flik can be reached just by bouncing on the ball, and because Thud's the only enemy here, we just have to finish him off with a goldberry to get that final medal. Nothing to it, right? Whole city chapter's finished, and we're actually now halfway through the entire game. Only growing 2 seeds so far. I mean, it's 2 more than I would have liked, but it's still quite impressive, I think. We're back on Ant Island for level 10. We're in the Clover Forest. The objective here is to collect 5 pieces of Flik's artificial bird, which was apparently already made for him and then scattered all over the place by a bunch of dickheads. Level's not off to a great start, though, because we start off on this deep ditch. We can't go anywhere until we're out of the ditch, and the game clearly wants us to grow some mushrooms and platforms to escape, but we can do better than that. Do you see this big old leaf up here? It's droopy. It's hanging down. The entire thing is solid. That means the Flik can jump straight onto it with another tricky jump from higher ground. Whole trench problem solved now, if you can believe it. Now then, the Clover Forest is an open-ended level, and the bird parts are scattered all around the corners of the map. It's also a massive pain in my behind. So, if it's alright with you lot, I'm going to stick this handmade overhead map of the level on screen so I can describe how we're going to go about it. So, the first bird part is right over here, with Manny and Gypsy. It's basically free now that we're out of the ditch, we can just walk over to them. From there, we'll move to the east side of the map to collect part number 2, then down to the very bottom edge to meet Slim and Francis for part number 3. Then we move back up, we'll collect part number 4 on the west side near where we started, and finally, collect part number 5 at the top of this impossibly tall tree stump. But wait, what? Let's resume with the second bird part, sitting up on these cliffs over here. At first I had written down we needed to grow a fan, airlift another seed up onto the first stage with the fan, then grow that into a leaf platform to reach the top of the part. But that is too unsatisfying. Like, are you kidding? Playing this game normally? Nah, get real, mate. I've got to try some wacky shit out before I give up. So I started doing some wacky shit, and have a look at this. The hell was that, huh? Apparently this level again has some weird collision on its walls, and you can just sort of double jump and kick up the walls to get where you need to be. Gravity? Nah, mate, can't be bothered with that. So I was able to do that once, and like, I promise this was sheer coincidence I found this on the first attempt. You can just sort of do it again up this wall too. That's insane, right? So the second bird part is free, and I'm also going to grab this brown seed token for later. Down to the third part here with Slim and Francis, right? Again, you're meant to just use a fan to float up to the ledge and then talk to them to receive the part, but as we've done like 3 or 4 times by now, just find some higher ground over here, tuck Flik's legs in on the jump, and you can clear the ledge without help. Nothing to it. Over on the west side now for the fourth part, it's more or less the same deal as the second one was. 2 layers of cliff, and we need to climb both to grab what we need. My original plan was to skip needing 2 fans by just placing 1 on the tallest part of this rock. That allows Flik to barely reach the taller ledge, where we can grab the other brown token, then drop down for the bird part, but once again I thought, if I can apparently just kick up walls in this area, can I do it again here? Actually, I can. I absolutely can. It's ridiculous, but I'm taking what I can get this far into the challenge. Unfortunately though, that's about as much as we can do without growing any seeds here. The only part that's left is on top of the really tall stump, and we're going to have to grow a cannon plant to reach that high. That's why I've been collecting the brown tokens. They let you cycle through and change what plant you want to grow out of seed. Having 1 lets you grow a fan, 2 gives you a dandelion, 3 gets you the cannon. So, we've got 2 so far, we just need to grab this last brown token, way over there and out of reach. So as I said, 2 tokens gives you a dandelion. Once that's out of the way, we can reposition the seed we just used, and launch all the way up to nab the final piece and end the level. That's just 2 required seeds grown to move on, which isn't great, but hey, I originally had this one marked down for 5, okay? Take what we can get. Level 11 is up in Ant Island's big tree. The goal here is to round up 5 of Dot's snotty little Girl Scout friends and use them as expendable bird pilots. What's not to love? I'll tell you what is to love, this level's layout. There are some seeds around the base of the tree, but absolutely none of them are needed to climb up the tree and find the scouts. All this stuff down here is optional if you want the gold berry ammo, so we can just ignore it. The only thing we've got to worry about here is falling out of the tree and watching for rolling acorns in 0.5 presses. So, once we've recruited these 5 guys, burgers and fries, all that's left is to speak to Dot to finish and move on. Level 12 brings us another boss fight, and a pretty sharp change in tone. We're going toe-to-toe with Molt, and once again, he's a very tough boy. We need blue berries to deal damage to him, and there aren't any pickups in the level which allow that, so we've only got one other option. Collect purple seed tokens, and grow our own blueberry. There's really not much else we can do about this one, I'm afraid. But you know what's even worse? There are 4 purple tokens we can choose from here, and we only need 1, right? And every single one of them is just barely out of jumping height. That's really sad, but somehow hilarious at the same time. The green tokens are in reach, yeah, of course they are, yeah, of course, but not the purple ones that we want, nah. So we're going to have to grow at least 2 seeds here. 1 to reach the purple tokens, then another to grow a blue berry to start damaging more. Problem should be solved now, right? See, that's where we're all wrong. This boss fight has a special gimmick. I'm sure you've already spotted it. We've got a lovely little spectator crowd behind the fences here, and they're so eager to help us defeat Molt that they're throwing in berries for us to collect. Red berries. You know, the only type of berry that very tough boys are immune to? Yeah, you're thinking it. I'm saying it out loud. Our friends are fucking idiots, and if we're not careful while attacking Molt, someone's gonna bonk us right on the noggin with their poo-poo shitberry, and we're gonna have to grow extra blue seeds to get ours back. So, the final total here is at least 2, at minimum. You've just got to find a good spot to avoid the spectator berries, and then turn Molt into paste on the floor. Into level 13 here, we've only got 3 levels left on the challenge. This level's special because it's the exact same layout as way back in level 1, except Hopper's taken over the land and our new objective is to shoot him down and save Princess Atta. How are we going to do that then, Flik?
I need to grow a berry shooter.
What? Are you kidding me, mate? Is that our only option?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah, shut up. Alright, okay, I'll come clean. This level's gimmick is that we're stuck with red berries the whole time, and we can only attack anything by growing special yellow seeds. 1 seed gets us this 3-way cannon. 2 gives us a surface-to-hopper homing missile. but collecting all 3 seeds gives us this unassuming flower that's actually a landmine. So the natural choice here is to grab 2 yellow tokens for the homing missile, right? But we actually only need 1 this time. You can stand at the very edge of Pride Rock over here, and with a bit of luck and patience, the sideways cannon can land a hit on Hopper every once in a while. So we only need 1 token out of 3. So where are they all? Okay, alright. So do you guys think this is karma for me becoming a mountain goat in level 5 or nah? Anyway, safe to say, we're not getting a single one of these tokens without a fully maxed out leaf ladder, for which we'll need all 4 of this level's green tokens. But in a surprise twist of fate, all 4 of those tokens are within reach. Of course they are, yeah, of course. Tuck and Roll can help us grab the first 2, and the other 2 are on top of these small mushrooms here. Next, we grow a leaf ladder right under the yellow token, throw the whole ladder away, grow a cannon in its place, then uproot that and carry it with us to where Hopper's waiting.
Oh, yeah! I'll teach you.
Oh, great job, Flik.
Yeah, thanks, Ada. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Next level, please. Now, level 14 is the most different of them all so far. We're actually playing as Atta, airlifting Flik through the riverbed to escape Hopper. Because we're stuck in the air, there's absolutely no need for seed in this level. We've just got to outrun Hopper and reach the end of the trench here, and again, because this is a special level without seeds, we can technically clean up every optional medal here, just like in the bug bar. Nothing to it. On to the final boss. So, we've finally arrived at the showdown with Hopper. A lot of tall cliffs around here, and we can only climb up one of them using this log. All we need to do here is get a blue berry and then smack the shit out of the big man with it to end the game. It takes some tricky jumps, but one last time, Flik tucks his legs in to clear the distance and secure what we need to take down Hopper. Now there are 3 phases to this boss fight. First one here is trivial, we can just pelt him over and over until he flees. The second phase is largely the same, but Hopper's in the air now, so we'll just need to jump between the higher platforms to reach him, which, once again, that's no issue. The final phase of this battle ends at Feathered Friend's Nest. All we gotta do from here is chase Hopper up the cliffside and drain his health bar until the bird comes to see all the commotion. And maybe even a tasty snack.
Help me! Help me! Ah!
So, how'd you find that? Bugs Life's 15 main story levels done, and only 8 Cs were required for the whole thing. That's way better than what I was expecting when I first had the idea to make this. Though, with that being said, turns out, after I finished making my routes for this game, that all of my choices weren't actually very original at all. Speedrunners for Bugs Life have been pulling off some of the tricks I showed off here for years, and I promise you, I swear, I did not have any looks into any speedrun stuff for this before I got started. Some of the biggest examples I'm talking about are the wall climbing in Clover Forest, hitting Hopper with the Blueberry in Anthill 2, and of course the absolute insanity that was Mountain Goat Tech in the Canyon level. All really impressive stuff for such an old game, and hopefully it was still super enjoyable to watch. Did you enjoy that? Huh? Did you enjoy that? If you did, it would have been a huge deal to us if you hit those funny support buttons. Yep, you know it, it's that time of the video. A like would let me know I did good here and should probably do more of these. Now, normally on this channel, me and my brother do basic playthroughs of really old games, like this one that we played when we were kids. So if that sounds more up your alley, then hitting subscribe would do both us and you a favour there. Or maybe leave a comment about something I missed, or something you really enjoyed seeing. That would go a long way too. We read and respond to all of those. Alright then, my friends. I think that's me done here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.